Hey everybody, it's dafobra, and I wanted to share some information that I've learned from a month or so of owning my Drift Innovation HD170 Stealth camera. On the whole, I really like this camera. It has done pretty much everything I had hoped it would do. As a motor vlogging camera, it's great with the external microphone. I really like the external microphone, not just because it can record inside the helmet, but I find that the external microphone gets a lot of wind noise. I guess that's not a big deal if you're going to set your ride to music, but for me, I get a better sound of I seem to get a better sound of the motorcycle itself from inside the helmet without all the wind. So that's another plus of having that external microphone. So if you're going to purchase it, I think it's well worth the money. And of course, do get that silicone cover for the rear. Otherwise, everything here is going to be exposed. I'm running an 8 gig SDHC card right now, and I've never run out of memory. I mean, I've recorded up to an hour at a time, and I still have a little left in there. So, I mean, I know some people have gone for 16s or 32s. I mean, if you can afford it, why not? You know, you can never have too much memory. But for me, the 8 gig seems to be doing the trick. As far as the front goes, Drift was kind enough to put these little alignment markers at 0 degrees and at 180 degrees. And that shows you the top dead center and I guess bottom dead center. And when it sits on the helmet, because of the nature of the helmet itself, it's going to sit a little bit sideways, a little bit crooked. I don't know if you could see that. So what I did is I put exactly the way I wanted it to be to make it straight on there. And if you could see, I have 2 dots of regular old whiteout. Whiteout is definitely your friend here. So every time I go out for a ride and I'm going to use it as on the side of my helmet, all I have to do is rotate it straight like that, and I know my shot will always be lined up. When it's on the bike, if it's, for example, on the, let's say, on the side, or let's say on the tank. If it's on the tank, I'm going to rotate it that way. And what's great about this screen is fantastic that it offers you the ability to see exactly what's going on, and you can see what you're filming before you start filming it. Huge, huge, huge plus. Let's see what else I went through. I also changed some of the settings in here. Let's go to the settings menu. And microphone sensitivity, I still have it at 1. I'm really not having any issues with it at 1, so I feel like I don't have to have it anymore. The LCD I have off is 10 seconds to save some battery time. Camera off. I changed camera off to 20 minutes. Only because I was going out to Port Chef with some buddies, and I found that in the time that I didn't use it due to inactivity, it might have been 10 or 15 minutes, the camera shut off. I was not able to just go right back to, you can see my LCD went off. I was not able to go right back to recording, so I changed it to 20 minutes, and it hasn't had a tremendous change on battery life. Speaker volume, I have it at highest. LCD brightness, I have it at highest because during the day when you're riding and if you want to look at it real quick, you really need to see it. I have not played around with night mode. You can see that I have the daytime stamp off. And I do have the most current firmware. So if you haven't done a firmware update, check out Darkflight 600's one of his vids. I'll put a link up here talking about exactly how to download the firmware. It's really easy and it's really foolproof. I had to repair my remote after I did the firmware update. Once again, not a big deal. Definitely nice to have. When it mounts on the helmet itself, it's going to mount into a small cradle. And it's going to click, 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 click. So I'm trying to get the perfect angle. So after I actually figured out the perfect angle, once again, whiteout is your friend. There's a whiteout mark on the back here, and a whiteout mark on the back here. So when I'm using it on the side of my helmet, all I have to do is tighten this up, line up the marks. You don't have to gorilla tighten here really either. Click it in. And that's it. Now it's absolutely perfect. The angle is perfect, ready to go. And like I said, it just made it a little more foolproof for me. You can see when sitting up, it's a little angled a little bit high, but when it goes down, when you're in a riding position, it's going to be straight. So that's another way to just make it a little bit, you know, more foolproof. And since it's whiteout, it doesn't really affect anything. You could scrape it right off probably with your fingernail, but this is really done well for me. I did use a lanyard, some type of a safety lanyard, but I'll be honest with you, I've gone highway speeds, high highway speeds, and this thing hasn't moved at all off the side of the helmet. This Velcro is really, really strong. Here's the remote that comes with the HD170, and I really love it. So useful, so easy to hit it, even with my gauntlets, my gauntlet gloves on, no problem. You know, this is my only fault I could find with this camera setup. This is great if you have a bare wrist, but yeah, so if you're running a jacket where you have shorty gloves, this might actually work out for you. Now I'm running my Scorpion hat trick has zip up sleeves on the end, and then I wear Cortec gauntlets, and there's no way this is going anywhere near that. It's not going to go around. I know. Once again, Darkfly 600 had recommended that I put it in my pocket, and that's what I was doing. I've been doing that for all of my vids, but I got to be honest with you, it's not super simple. I have to kind of wait for a stop. I have to be careful because I'm always afraid of dropping this thing. You know, God forbid I'm on the parkway doing 70 and I drop this thing out of my pocket. So it's not as easily accessible, and I'm kind of looking into another setup that I can use, maybe with a longer Velcro watch band. I can't just use a strip of Velcro. I think that's going to be kind of cheesy. But this one here is I think it's about 11 inches or so, and I think 14 or 15 inches would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfectly long. So I'm going to be looking into where I can find that. But here's another option that seems to be working well. Here's the remote itself. It's wrapped around the upper triple clamp, just with the standard Velcro, and it's actually quite roomy. And as you can see, the windscreen gives it a nice shielding so it doesn't get beat up from the elements or wind or whatnot. And it's very, very accessible. And I really like the way this one's working out. I think I might do this instead of the in-the-pocket method. Here's another option that I found on eBay. It's Velcro reusable tie-down strap bands. They come in the color black, and they're all different lengths, 13-inch, 16-inch, or 20-inch. And you can see here's a couple of pictures of them. They're very similar to what Drift gives you, but they're longer. They come in a 5-pack, and a 5-pack of 16 inches will cost you around $10 shipped. So this is something else I'm looking into if I do want to actually affix it to my wrist or my forearm on top of my jacket. I might pick these up at a later date. Anyway, I hope this helped you, and be safe. See ya.